All right, guys, this is actually section 3.2b. We are going to be just building off of what we did yesterday. Now we're going to see some negative coefficients. Remember, a coefficient is a number that we see in front of a variable. So yes, the previous learning target, you only had positives. Now we're going to see something really important that happens when you have those negative coefficients, okay? This should be old news to you by now. I'm going to fill this out super quickly because hopefully we're getting used to those symbols. Remember, we have open circle here, closed circle here. We're going to shade to the left for these two symbols and shade to the right. So hopefully you can do that without even looking at my notes here. You know what those symbols mean and how to graph them. So today we're talking about negative coefficients. So let's talk about this special rule. Put a star, put arrows, whatever you need to do around this special rule today. Okay, whenever you are multiplying or dividing, which you are going to do today, whenever you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative number, so those negative coefficients, you have to flip the inequality symbol. Okay, that's just a special rule when we have these inequalities. So if your original inequality symbol was greater than, but somewhere along the line you multiply or divide by a negative number in that problem, this has to change to less than. Okay, so bells and whistles, unicorns should be flying anytime you multiply or divide by a negative number. So that's what we're going to be careful of today. So this first little problem here, just like yesterday, I'm going to draw my line down the middle. I'm going to start getting x by itself. So to do that, the only step I need to do is I'm going to divide both sides by a -3. Now this is where those unicorns should be flying. I divided both sides by a -3. So right away I know that I have to switch that greater than to less than. So I do that before I do anything else, okay? So that means x is now less than -4. Okay, as soon as I divided both sides by that negative, I flipped that inequality symbol around. Okay, super important. This is just old review. I have -4, -3, -5, open circle, everything less than -4. Okay, solution set, I'm starting at infinity, going to -4. All right, I'm gonna actually have you guys try number 2, and then I'm gonna go to number 3. So this one, again, I'm solving. I wanna try to get those a's to one side. So if I wanna try to get 4a to the other side, I'm gonna do the opposite. Okay, those go away. I have -2a minus 11 greater than or equal to 7. Now subtracting does not make me flip my sign. This can stay the same because I just subtracted. I didn't multiply or divide. So now I'm just going to keep going. So now I have to try to get a by itself. I'm going to add 11. No need to flip my sign if I add. Okay, that symbol's going to stay the same. One last step for this problem. Now I'm going to divide both sides by a -2. Now that step right there, dividing by a -2, is when bells and whistles go off. And now I'm going to flip that greater than or equal to be less than or equal to -9. Okay, so keep that in mind as I'm working when I flip and when I don't. So I have a -9. I go up to -8, -10. It's going to be a closed circle this time, everything less than that. Okay, so I'm going to start at infinity. I'm going to go to -9. It's a hard stop with a closed circle, so I'm going to use that bracket. Okay, you've got some problems here to try. If you are good with this, go ahead and pause me and stop me. I'm going to do one more with you, and then we'll call it a day, okay? So I'm going to go to number 6. I'm going to draw my line. I want to try to get ends to one side. So I'm going to subtract both sides by -3 or subtract 3. Those go away. So I have -2a minus 8 is greater than or equal to 6. My next step, now subtracting, remember, does not make me flip. I'm going to add 8. So I have -2a is greater than, I have 14. No flipping needed there. Now I'm going to divide by -2. Bells and whistles are going off with that step. I'm dividing by a negative, so I'm going to have to flip my symbol around. And I have -7. Okay, So I have -7, -6, -8. It's a closed circle, everything less than -7. So I'm going to start at infinity, go to -7. It's a hard stop. Okay, so you're going to be practicing this. I know you've got some blanks. Hopefully you have good examples. That's all I got.